Welcome to the Backyard Nature Network video series on tips to attract wildlife to your yard.
Tip 4. Provide water. Providing water for wildlife will make your backyard habitat a welcome refuge, especially during our hot Florida summers and dry winters. By including water sources in your yard, you're providing a resource that will be appreciated by many species. Your water source doesn't have to be elaborate or expensive. Although waterfalls and ponds are beautiful, wildlife will appreciate a planter saucer just as much. Okay, here are a few tips to help you get started. When providing water for wildlife, it's important to remember to keep a constant supply of water and change the water frequently, especially if there's no filtration system. Standing water is prime habitat for mosquitoes to lay their eggs. And stagnant water can get quite warm, inviting growth of species like algae. Let's talk about bird baths first, since they're relatively easy. You can set up water sources at different heights to attract a variety of wildlife. A general rule of thumb for bird baths is the lower the bird bath is to the ground, the further away vegetation should be. This keeps visitors safe from predators while they're enjoying a drink or bathing. Setting up the water source in a shady spot will help keep algae levels low. If you start to notice some greening of your bird bath or other water source, gently scrubbing with a sponge or brush is all that you need to keep it clean. Avoid putting them near bird feeders because wet seats can make wildlife sick. Make sure you're mindful of the depth of the water. Keep your bird baths shallow. You only really need 2 to 3 inches of water. If you put a few rocks under the water, it could help small animals like frogs and lizards climb to safety if they accidentally fall in. In addition to a bird bath, you can consider creating a small area of moist, clean sand to attract butterflies and provide moisture to small critters. Okay, so here are a few tips on ponds if you wish to create one. A pond that is too deep may not attract very many birds. A shallow gradient with a textured surface will make your pond more attractive to them. Pebbles or sand are cheap and simple recommendations. If you wish to attract frogs or other amphibians, adding fish to your pond isn't recommended. Fish often eat their eggs, so frogs will likely avoid your pond and look on for a safer place. Building a pond for your yard can be extremely rewarding, but a little more complicated. We don't have time to go into so much detail, so this link can help you get started on the right path. Okay, that's a wrap for tip 4. Remember, any water source you provide in your yard will be appreciated by some form of wildlife.
Thanks for tuning in to the Backyard Nature Network video series and finding out what you can do to help provide habitat for wildlife.